Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are all cannibalizing the entire federal budget. A Federalist article, which is 100% true. Just when you think that things cannot get any worse on the physical front, Washington once again manages to exceed expectations. One couldn't help but get out the impression from the latest update to the nation's poor budget situation. The Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, recently released revised estimates of the nation's budget and economic outlook over the coming years. While the prior version of the document released February didn't exactly show a physically responsible federal government, the intervening 4 months saw lawmakers digging taxpayers, that's you and me, into an even deeper hole. More spending by Congress and Biden. Overall, the CBO increased the estimated budget deficit for the fiscal year, which ends on September 30th, by $408 billion, and the 10-year budget deficit by nearly $2.1 trillion. That's disgusting. The breakdown in the report shows the major causes of the worsened financial condition. The bloated spending bills passed in March added nearly $1.3 trillion to the 10-year deficit, as higher spending in the fiscal years lead CBO out to assume, not incorrectly in most cases, that spending will continue at those higher rates in the future. Spending on Medicaid and Obamacare will increase deficits by $511 billion in the coming decade, in large part because people will continue signing up for, quote, free coverage. The budget office also noted that the recent surge in immigration had more people than CBO previously estimated eligible for Obamacare subsidies, accounting for an increase in the projected enrollment. The Biden administration's student loan forgiveness, quote unquote, will cause the deficit to grow by $145 billion the fiscal year alone. So yes, of course, like we always talked about, Joe Biden is adding more to the fiscal debt than Trump ever dreamed of doing, or Trump ever had any reason to add to the debt. Now, of course, the Biden administration will forgive all these, quote unquote, forgive all of these loans because of the fact that it's trying to buy votes. And this is a thing that the Supreme Court already said that he cannot do.
Supreme Court blocked me from relieving student debt, but they didn't stop me.
Which is actually an impeachable offense, so Congress needs to take action immediately. They should have took action immediately at the time that he announced that, because that is a complete disregard for our rule of law. And for all of the rule of law breaking that they say that Trump supposedly did, Joe Biden just broke the biggest law, and that's disobeying the Supreme Court. If Trump disobeyed the Supreme Court, then they would have had a field day. They would have ran Trump through the ringer. They would have tried to impeach him that very time. We have a very important debate coming up this week. This debate has been at the forefront of everybody's mind for the past couple of weeks, ever since that this has been announced. This has been the earliest debate that we have ever saw in American history because of the fact that it is in June. Now, because of the fact that it is in June, it's very early in the campaign and it's very early in the election. We're 5 months away from November. We're going to be reacting to this debate live. If you do want to join me, we're going to be live streaming it on X and YouTube at the same exact time. So wherever you are, we're bringing the debate straight to you. While there's commercial breaks for CNN, we're going to be analyzing the exact numbers for Trump and Biden. We're going to be averaging all of the polls together instead of just relying on one poll, just like how Joe Biden will likely say that he is ahead on some polls. Yeah, some polls say that he's ahead. Some polls say that Trump's ahead. We're going to take the average of all the polls and discuss those. So with that being said, we're going to be streaming that on 7 p.m. EST because the debate comes in at 8. So I do want to discuss exactly where the polls are. So with that being said, let's just dig into the headlines of the week.